This week, it's the Dynamic D's. And so we have none other than Miss Dionne Reeves-Grubbs. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dionne. She's a full-figured model. She's the CEO of Full Figured Fierce. She's a trainer. She's a coach. She's a mom. She's a wife. And she's done something very spectacular. She's from Huntsville, Alabama. And when I tell you she's got a story, everybody has a story. Dion has a story. So come on out, Dionne Reeves-Grubbs.
Hey,
Hey,
how are
Dynamic D.
you?
I am fine. Miss Dynamic Diva, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, Dion, thank you for being on the show. As we were talking and talking with Donna earlier, I mean, I wanted you ladies to come on at the same time, and it worked out. It just worked out perfectly
Mhm.
because you have a story to tell. But one of the things that I want you to start off with is just give us a little bit of history about
Mhm.
who Dion is.
Whew. Well, Dion is a Southern Belle from Huntsville, Alabama. A lot of people don't know where Huntsville is. I started modeling at the age of 15. I'm 45 now. I don't have a problem telling anybody my age. Um, I started modeling at 15, but I let that go, family, school, things like that. And I started an organization called Full Figure Fierce. And the reason that I started Full Figure Fierce is because I didn't have the best upbringing, as in the relationship with my mother. We have um, we've had lots of issues, and so growing up, I was never taught um, how to love who I was, how to love others, and not be afraid to show love to other people. Um, and it turned out that Full Figure Fierce was just divine, um, because my daughter is the reason that I actually pushed and birthed this baby of Full Figure Fierce. She was born with a disease called acromegaly, which is the same disease that Andre the Giant had. So it's basically giantism. And at her young age, she had to deal with a lot of issues with loving herself, knowing who she was because she was bigger, she was taller, um, and it really wasn't the children that were mistreating her; it was more the adults that didn't understand. And so she went through some really, really rough times. And so mommy had to step in and reassure her, even though at the time I didn't really know how to love me. Mommy had to step in and say, it doesn't matter, baby. You're still beautiful. You're still smart. You're still pretty. You're still everything that you think you aren't. I'm going to reinforce that. And so Full Figure Fierce was kind of born out of that. And I remember one morning I was having a really, really rough day. Really, really rough. It started off horrible. And I tell my heartbeats. I don't call them followers because we have a Facebook page and all of that. But I don't call them followers. I call them my heartbeats. I have my heartbeats to write themselves a love letter. And in that love letter, you have to do mirror time, which is basically you sit in the mirror and you take all of this off, glam, hair, makeup, all of that stuff. And you have to find 5 things that you love about yourself. And so in doing that, you have to then write it down. That's your love letter. And you have to read it out loud because your heart needs to hear it. Your ears need to hear it. Your mouth needs to say it. It needs to come from you so that you can reprogram your brain. And I've been telling people to do this years, years, years because I learned it in counseling. And that morning, I woke up and my daughter, my oldest, which is the one I was talking about, Casey, was teaching my baby girl who was having a rough morning how to write herself a love letter. And so, I am I'm a mom who loves her children and doesn't want to see them go through what I went through. I'm a woman who doesn't want to see another woman go through what I went through growing up with the name calling and the mental and emotional abuse. I don't ever, 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 ever want another woman to feel that way. So I am the founder of an organization who pushes self-care, self-love, um, and just loving you for who you are, not what the world sees, but for who you are. So in essence, I am full figure fierce.
Oh, Dion, I'm just sitting here just like, wow. I mean, really, what you said is what most young women need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what Donna was talking about. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
it's all around the same thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you brought a video with you, and
Yes, ma'am.
I want our producer, if you would, please, Miss Alicia, let's go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and show this video, and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Mm-mm. No.
But I love that billboard.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too, Donna. I was saving that as your surprise because you didn't
Mm.
say. Wow. Oh,
Mm.
start. Don't you start. My eyes are tearing up. So come on, let's talk about this video.
Mhm.
Unpack this video for us. Tell us what it's about.
So basically, a lot of people don't really understand what we mean by loving yourself as the purest form. So in this video, I teamed up with Jordan Chill City Moore here in Huntsville, Alabama. And Jordan came up with the concept of how to get across loving yourself. And sometimes you need somebody else to give you a little push. So in this video, we wanted to portray this beautiful chocolate, and I definitely wanted a chocolate girl. This beautiful chocolate plus size woman. She's in her t-shirt and sweatpants and all of that stuff, and she's walking in the field, basically representing feeling alone because in when you're in that headspace, you have to get yourself out. You have to get yourself out, but sometimes you need some help. And that's where I come in. I'm going to be the one to swoop on in and get in your ear and say, no, ma'am, we're not going to go there today. No, ma'am. Whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you're thinking in your head negatively about you, we're going to turn that around. So keep your head to the sky, because if you don't put God first, it ain't going to work. Keep your head to the sky, and we're going to work on it. We're going to do it together. I'm not going to leave you behind. We're going to do it together.
That's right. And people will look at you and say, well, you can easily say this, but
Mm-hmm.
I know that you've had some challenges and some
Mm-hmm.
difficult times. Talk about how difficult, because I did see a piece that you did about
Mm-hmm.
the difficulty of being a full-figured model.
Whew. Being a full figure model. um, I try to tell people a lot of times before you even get into this industry, you need to do some inside work. Yeah, it's about the beauty and the hair and the makeup and the clothes, but you got to have some really, really thick skin before you come into this industry, because people will attack you. They will attack your any little thing they can find to bring you down, because they know that you're working on yourself. It's the devil, basically. Anything that he sees that you're trying to push to get yourself in a better headspace, he's going to attack it. So being a plus size model, where you're in an industry where you are judged and critiqued on every single solitary thing that you do, you have to be good up here. And when I first got into plus size modeling, which is another reason why I started Full Figure Fierce, I used to see these women backstage who were drop dead gorgeous. I mean, I would sit in awe and just like, where do they create you? Where did you come from? Like, you're not human. You can't be that beautiful. And they would have the worst attitudes and that cattiness that they always say women do. One day I sat down with one of the women. I just asked her. I was like, what is it? What, like, why do you have to be like that? And she made it a point to tell me that she had been told all her life, because she was plus size all her life. She had been told all her life that she would never amount to anything. Nobody would love her. Pretty much everything I was told growing up. Because she was bigger, nobody would ever love her, want to marry her. So she built up this wall and this, I guess, this attitude that I'm going to be stronger than anything. They can't break me. So yeah, I may be arrogant, but you're not going to break me. So in being a plus size model, and especially being from Huntsville, Alabama, where I'm from, a lot of people here don't even they don't even accept plus size modeling. And I find it ironic, because we're Southern. We eat steak and bacon and grits and everything fattening, but you don't accept a body that comes from what we eat all the time. All of us. Everybody's got a big mama in their family. Everybody's got, someone that they knew that raised them, that had curves. And all of a sudden, curves weren't acceptable anymore. So you just have to, in this industry, being a plus model, you have to have some thick skin, or they're going to tear you apart.
Dion, you talked about it one time. You talked about giving up.
Mm.
And I saw that in you when you said, you know what? I'm ready to walk off. I'm ready to
Yeah.
leave.
Mm-hmm.
What was your inspiration, or what was the push that made you continue on to do that particular show?
My daughters. My daughter. My daughter has, I know people say, oh, the parent is supposed to be, the upper, but my daughters are my sheroes. They really are. Especially my daughter Casey, because with the things that she's been through in her life, if she can deal with this stuff, I can most definitely deal with that. That's nothing compared to the things that she's had to go through. So I push myself, because I never want my daughter to see me give up on anything, either any of my daughters. I don't want them to see me give up, because if I give up, then that will give them cause to give up too, and we're not doing that.
That's right.
Mm-mm.
You are fierce. I'm going to tell you now. When I saw you, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, all right. Because, see, being a kind of big girl, you know what I'm
You
saying?
come on.
And I was like, girl, look at her. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
looks fabulous. So
Thank you.
I didn't tell the audience in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but you had the opportunity to be
Mm-hmm.
featured in New York, Times Square,
Mm-hmm.
during the New York Fashion Week. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to see that picture. That's the
Mm-hmm.
picture that you had up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. come on now. You right here above Ripley's Believe It or Not. How did
Mm-hmm.
that happen?
Um, I could tell you, but I have no. Just saying. Um, it literally is like Miss Behringer was saying. You got to learn how to talk to people. And I talked to somebody who introduced me to somebody who introduced me to somebody. And when you learn how to network and talk to people, you can make magic happen. And that's what happened. That's literally what happened.
Listen,
Magic.
that's that Southern charm. That's that
You
it.
got
That's
to.
the it factor that Donna
Yes,
was
ma'am.
talking about. You know, it really is. And as I was saying, creating your stories and leveling up your business, it's
Hmm.
about creating those networks
Yes,
and
ma'am.
and being in the power of who you are. You know, knowing
Absolutely.
who you are. You know,
Absolutely.
one of the things we talked about the difficulties, but now I want to move into the positive side.
Hmm.
What are some of the rewarding things that have happened to you during this journey? Or at least give me one.
Well, number one is being on your show. That's a big one for me. Um, I've been able to walk for amazing designers, being a model and being able to coach models, um, being able to learn from people like my mother, she's my God sent mother. That's what I say, my model mother, Miss Linda Scott Houston. Listen, if you know how to network and talk to people and connect to people, amazing things can happen to you in this industry. Meeting Linda Scott, meeting my manager at the time, which is Miss Bo Tally Williams. I've got to meet celebrities and all of that. That's all well and good, but the biggest joy I get out of this is when I get to see the younger girls that I teach. And when I mean younger, I mean six and up. Um, when I see them blossom from, you know, their self-esteem and their confidence is like down here, you see them, they sit with their shoulders like this, and then you go through the classes with them, and then all of a sudden it's this. And I don't care what anybody says, that is the best feeling in the
Wow.
world to see a woman or a young girl start to love herself. I mean, you could give me all the money in the world, the cars, the videos and all of that other stuff. You could give me all of that. But I promise you that one smile from a little girl or that mom coming and saying, thank you for helping my baby, like priceless, priceless.
Let me tell you, you are amazing. You
Thank
are
you.
truly amazing. Now I want to switch to Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Ikigai.
Ikigai. Mm-hmm.
Talk about Ikigai.
Ikigai Fierce is I started my model company because I believe in developing models. I don't believe in just pushing them out there and saying, "Oh yeah, girl, use the term model. It's fine. You'll be all right." No, I don't believe in that because of how my model mother, Miss Linda Scott Houston, how she taught me and raised me in this industry. Um, Ikigai means your reason for being. It all blends together for me because loving who you are, having self-confidence, it shows on the runway. But you also with the company, you have to learn the basics. You have to start at the bottom and work your way up. And in working your way up, you build the confidence that you need. So this is my purpose. Ikigai is my purpose. It's my reason for being. This is what gets me up in the morning. This is what I live for. I breathe. It's like food to me. Um, and I love this word because of the meaning. It's your reason for being. Everything that I do has a reason. Everything that I do has a reason. So when I read the what the actual word means, because I have a thing for the Japanese culture. My husband, may he rest in peace, had a thing for Japanese culture. So I research words like that, stuff that people, or words that people wouldn't normally know. So um, when I saw this word, everything just popped. It just made sense. This is the reason I do all of this. I cry, and we go through the trials and trigonometry for of the foolishness, the drama, and all of that. We go through all of that, but it's all for a reason. Ikigai.
know, I talked to one of my Japanese friends, and one of the other meanings of the word is having direction and purpose for your
Mm-hmm.
life. You
Yes,
know, this
ma'am.
whole show we've been talking about that, and so arigato. I want to thank you.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
I want to
you.
thank you for that, and just sharing your story. And the other thing that I want to say is, I know recently your husband passed away,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
and you have our condolences here from Tammy.
Thank you.
You know, I've
Thank
been
you.
calling you, asking you how you're doing today, how things
And I
going,
appreciate that. I
and
really
so
do.
I want you to know that we love you.
Thank you.
And I know we really didn't come to talk about it, but I want to know, how are you doing? Because you're modeling, you know, this is your career, this
Hmm.
is what you do. How
Hmm.
are you doing?
Um, it's one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, sometimes 1 second at a time. Um, he was my friend for 20 years, my husband for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in April, and I was his caregiver. So seeing him go through the things that he went through with cancer. He had two forms. He had leukemia and lymphoma. The lymphoma showed up. He's had leukemia for about 13 years, 14 years, and the lymphoma showed up in January, right around his birthday. So um, we we push. That's all we know to do. um we they, with anyone with cancer, they'll put their name and strong behind it. So we created a whole movement for him called Bear Strong. And the support that I get from the people that love me, really really love me, um it it helps. I know people think just saying I'm gonna pray for you is just something you say, but I really feel those prayers, and it helps me get through. This week has been really, really rough, but you know, I hear him saying, "Keep going, baby,
Keep
push."
going. Wow.
Yeah,
Keep pushing. Keep
yeah,
pushing. Well, you know, we're here for you. You know, Tammy, I'm here for you.
yes,
We're
ma'am.
gonna keep on pushing because
That's
you've got
right.
some things coming up. So I want to talk about what's next.
Oh, we are going to South Beach, Miami.
Ooh.
We get to do be a part of Rick D. Jones' photo shoot tour, and so all the girls are getting together. We'll have an amazing pose coach, which is uh, Andrea. Oh God, she's gonna kill me. Andrea. She's from Nashville. She's amazing. She is absolutely amazing. And so we're gonna coach the girls. They're gonna get in the water. I know it's January and I know it's cold and all of that, but that's part of modeling. It's not always gonna be champagne and cherries all over the place. This is work. So these girls are gonna go to and do some work, and we're gonna get on the beach and put them through the ringer. We're gonna take them down through there, but they're
Wow.
gonna come out shining. They're gonna come
Yeah.
out shining. So I'm excited. And then we're in the process of starting our plans for our 10-year anniversary, which our 10-year anniversary for Full Figure Fierce will be 2022. So we are getting ready to do something dynamic, and I cannot wait because you will be there. So I'm excited. So it's full steam ahead
Yeah.
now. So
Wow, I'm
stop.
excited for you. I mean, just listening to you, talking with you, and I mean, even with all of your videos and your blogs, they come
Mhm,
out. You know how you say when people are in television, they come through the
mhm,
screen and you
Mm-hmm.
feel their spirit. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
felt your spirit as I did the research about you and who you were, and just, I was like, wow, she's got to come on, Tammy. I mean, she's got to come on the show, talk with
Thank
me,
you.
and I'm just grateful and feel so blessed to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. It is a true honor to be here. Thank you.
Oh man, and you're beautiful. I mean, girl, now
Thank
listen,
you.
let's talk about that makeup.
Yes, ma'am. Demir Cosmetics. Yes, ma'am. It is a brand that is locally owned by a couple, married couple, Randy and Demi Howe. And ironically enough, we have a lot of history because Randy, the husband, was actually my very first friend in the world. Like
Wow.
literally, we grew up across the street from each other.
Hmm.
Um, so reconnecting with them, and I'm gonna be honest, I was a model that did not know how to do her makeup. I'm gonna be
I
honest, I'm
I
not gonna
know.
lie about it. So
I know.
um learning how to do my makeup because whoo child, some people were lying to me. They were really, really lying to me. Oh, you look so pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I did not. And y'all, I'm mad at y'all for letting me do that. But getting with Demir Cosmetics, I started as a brand ambassador, and then I really got into the makeup after I started using it. And like you, with the custom kits that we sell, like literally, your life is in this little kit right here. Like that, your life is in the kit, so you don't have to do anything extra. It's all right there for you. And I it started becoming a piece for me doing my makeup and playing in makeup and learning techniques and things. It became a place of peace for me, and I am going to be here for a long, long time doing Demir Cosmetics, and we're going to get you some too.
Well, all right. I love it. I love it. Well, it's black. It's black owned by an
Oh
African
yes,
American company, and
absolutely.
so I'm excited about it. I mean, I love how you look. I mean, it's so
Thank
fresh.
you.
And if you've been using that on all of the pictures, I mean, we've got some pictures that you have, and if
Hmm.
we can share those pictures right quick. Oh,
Mm,
that's it, girl. I tell you what,
yes,
you
that's by an
got it
amazing
going on.
photographer.
Beautiful.
His name was Camille Page, and
Hmm.
this one is by Charles Beeson with Diva Big is the designer for this, and oh
Wow.
gosh, he is
Amazing.
amazing,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
amazing.
And look at you. I mean,
Oh,
just
that's
beautiful.
one of my
I modeled back in
firsts.
the day.
Yes, ma'am.
uh,
Okay,
Back in the day, I was
no,
this big, uh,
okay,
had hair like this. Yeah,
okay.
I got a picture. I should have put the picture in,
Yes,
but I
ma'am. I would
didn't.
love to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I'll send it to you. I will.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. But like you say, this is an industry that you have
Mhm.
to have some thick skin, and
Mhm.
you have to stand strong. You have to be strong because otherwise people
Absolutely.
will take advantage of you, number one. And number
Yes.
two, you won't get the business like you think you get booked like you would
Mhm.
like to. So you've
Mhm.
got to be on point in all matters. Dion,
Absolutely.
I want you to do this for me.
Okay.
Tell me three things
Mhm.
or three words that describe Dion.
Tenacious, um, determined, and loving. Those are my three. And
Wow,
I think they that's me. That's me.
that's you. Yeah,
That's me.
that's you. Well, listen, it was such a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank
What is the one
you.
thing that you want to share with the audience before you go? The one last thing.
The one last thing is our favorite quote from For Full Figured Fierce. It's Marcus Garvey. And that quote is, if you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you've won even before you've started.
You heard it right here.
Hmm.
Dion, I tell you, Dionne Reeves-Grubbs, the
Thank you.
fullfiguredfierce.com, full figured
Hmm.
model, New York's best,
Hmm.
for
Yes.
all the way from Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you so much, Dion, for being on the show.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you so
I thank you
much.
for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, and the best to you and your
Thank you.
family. Keep you
Yes,
in our
ma'am.
prayers, and tell Casey I said hello.
I will. I
All
will.
right.
All
Okay,
right. Merry
Dion.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Love you much.
Love you too.